Let's do something fun and totally unrealistic. Let's go through each NFL franchise and rename them. We're gonna keep everyone in the same city and keep that name, but we want to change the nicknames. There are a couple of rules we want to follow. One, we are only using nicknames that are currently in use. And number two, we can't just swap nicknames between two teams. For example, we can't just call them the Dallas Texans and the Houston Cowboys. That would be way too easy. What's the purpose of all this? I don't know, probably to start arguments. Give it a watch, then let me know how you would have done it differently. Thank you for joining us today. Do the whole YouTube thing. Like, share, subscribe, and ding that notification bell. Away we go. This is the map of the United States with every NFL team in its current location. We're going to be shifting these one by one until every team is in its new city. And we're going to start with a team we already mentioned in the Houston Texans. Just because we can't swap them with Dallas, it doesn't mean we can't move them there. This makes sense. People in Dallas are just as Texan as those in Houston, and there's been a team known as the Dallas Texans before. That would be the original name of the Kansas City Chiefs. So now that the Cowboy logo has been bumped off the map, we gotta find its new location, and that's gonna be in the city of Denver. The state of Wyoming doesn't have a football team. Denver is in that mountainous area. There's that cowboy spirit over there, so we now have ourselves the Denver Cowboys. Now the Broncos are on the move, and Indianapolis does make sense because all we'd be doing is swapping out horses, but I needed Indianapolis for a different name. So we're moving the Broncos all the way across the country to Buffalo. Buffalo Broncos gives us an alliterative animal name. Buffaloes and Broncos are both fearsome animals. Some of these are going to be a stretch. We now have the Buffalo Broncos. Speaking of stretches, we now have to move the Bills, and we're going to be moving them to Washington, D.C., and we're going to be naming them the Washington Bills, as in how a bill becomes a law.
I hope and pray that I will, but today I am still just a bill.
So of course we're going to have to shift the logo as well to, I guess this is Mr. Bill. I don't know his name. The Commanders got bumped off the board on the last one. We're going to move them not too far away from their original location. We're going to move them over to Carolina. The Carolinas do have a military history. It's also an alliterative name of Carolina Commanders. It's not required that we have alliteration, but it's always nice when it works out. The W logo is not going to work here, so we came up with this nifty fella. With the Panthers nickname now available, we're going to go ahead and give it to the other city that entered the NFL with Carolina. We now move the Panthers over to Jacksonville. Florida is known for its wildlife. The hockey team's known as the Panthers as well, so Jacksonville Panthers works just fine. It's time to move the Jaguars to their new location, and we're going to be sending them to New York, specifically in place of the NFC New York team, the Giants. We want to keep the flow of the video, and Giants helps us with our next entry. The justification for the New York Jaguars is that the Jaguar Car Company has corporate offices in New Jersey. So, the New York Jaguars it is. Now for the Giants, that's not going to be too difficult to move here. We're going to be sending them over to Tennessee because the Titans and Giants, there's no real big difference here. So, we can't use NY for the logo, so we're using the Giants logo that they used during their heyday of the late 80s and throughout the 90s. That's also now going to leave us with a very simple move. The Titans nickname is now available, and that's going right to New York to be the AFC franchise now known as the Jets. This one's too easy. They're going back to their old nickname of the New York Titans. We can keep the logo here. The T probably stands for Tennessee, but we can just as easily have it stand for Titans. The Jets are going to be making one of the biggest moves here, which is appropriate because they're Jets. They're going from New York all the way up to the Pacific Northwest in Seattle. The Boeing Corporation is in Seattle. Boeing make jets, and Seattle, with their location, tend to log more air mileage than anybody else. So actually, Seattle Jets makes a lot of sense. And just like that, the Jets are going to be replaced as the team that made the longest move. For the Seahawks are going to go all the way from Seattle to Miami. The Miami Seahawks were a real professional team for one season in 1946 in the old AAFC. so somebody somewhere thought this nickname made sense. We continue crisscrossing the country here as the Dolphins are going to move all the way over to the West Coast and take over the AFC Los Angeles team, which of course is the Chargers. Dolphins fit, it's a coastal city. They used to be San Diego, so there's a SeaWorld connection there. LA Dolphins kind of sounds cute. Next up on the docket are the Chargers, and we're going to move them over to the Midwest, and they're going to be taking their residence in the city of Chicago. Chicago is known as the Windy City, and Chargers is a weather-related nickname. So, that works. Got another pretty easy one here. The Bears are the next ones to move, and we're heading right back to the state of California. San Francisco will take over the nickname. I mean, come on, man. There's a bear right there on the California flag. San Francisco Bears works great. Okay, now this is our hardest one because 49ers, besides being a number, is so specific to the city of San Francisco. I had to make a big stretch here, and this is why Indianapolis didn't take over the Broncos name, because they're getting the 49ers. Had to do my research on this one. 6 of the last 16 surviving veterans of the Union Army in the American Civil War met in Indianapolis in the year 1949. Obviously, we couldn't use the SF here for the Indianapolis 49ers, so we went back to the 49ers' old logo. This guy is a prospector, but I guess he could be a soldier. Let me have this one, okay? Okay, so that may have been the worst of the bunch there, but this next one is probably going to be the best of the bunch. I wonder where we can send the Colts that currently has an NFL city. I think this makes sense, don't you? This might be my favorite change of them all. With the Ravens nickname now available, we're sending them not too far away to Philadelphia. For one thing, we're just swapping birds here between the Ravens and the Eagles, but the Ravens got their nickname because of Edgar Allan Poe's connection to the city of Baltimore. Well, Edgar Allan Poe also had a major connection to Philadelphia. So NFL teams, old school poetry, I love it. The letter B being inside that Raven meant we had to change the logo here, so we just went to the original Raven logo, the forward-facing Raven. That now leaves us with the Eagles nickname available, and we're going to keep shifting west on the map here and land them in Minnesota. Bald eagles are around in Minnesota, so Minnesota Eagles, I like it. It is kind of hard to imagine the Vikings nickname being anywhere other than Minnesota, but the name itself came from the Scandinavian presence in the Midwest. So we're just going to shift them over a little bit. I know this is their major rival, but they would never know they were the Vikings in the first place, so the Green Bay Vikings it is. The Packers are another nickname that is pretty synonymous with Green Bay, but it's not the only place where it can work. We're going to move them over to Kansas City. Kansas City is well known for its meatpacking. We couldn't use the G in the logo here because there's no G in Kansas City, so what we did was keep the current Chiefs logo and give it the green and gold treatment. Now we're going to bring the Chiefs into the fold, and we're going to go ahead and take them to Florida, specifically to Tampa Bay. There is a Seminole presence there. I think the casino out there is Seminole Hard Rock. I'm sure they would love the cross-marketing. As far as this logo goes, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I think it looks cool, but I don't know where it came from. Yeah, we got ourselves another easy one here. The Buccaneers are just going to go to Las Vegas to replace the Raiders. That's going to keep the pirate theme alive. So with Raiders now available, we got to send them somewhere where there's been a pirate presence at some point. That would make the most sense. So we're going to send them across the way to New England. Pirates were actually pretty prevalent in old school Boston. I didn't know that, but I looked it up on a hunch, and it turned out to be right. The Patriots nickname almost has to stay somewhere in the Northeast where the original 13 colonies were, so we're going to move them to Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh's not Boston or Philly when it comes to the Revolutionary era, but, you know, they were still part of the colonies. Also, Pittsburgh Patriots kind of sounds cool. Steelers is another one of those names that fits too perfectly where it already is, but we've got another landing spot for it, right in Detroit. Detroit is known for a blue-collar mentality, and it has the auto industry, which of course requires steel. We didn't feel right about keeping the logo because the 3 hypocloids are specific to steelmaking. So we gave them the old Steeler logo, which is possibly the most hilarious logo ever created. This dude punting the ball from atop a steel beam is also perfect because Detroit has punted so many times over the years. Now it's time to move the Lions over to their new home, and we're going to send them to Los Angeles to now replace the NFC team over there, the Rams. There's two connections here. You got the LA Zoo. I don't know if they have Lions anymore, but they have in the past. But for real, the big connection here is with MGM Studios. I'm sure there is plenty of opportunity for some cross-promotion. That's going to make available the Rams nickname, and of course we have a perfect landing spot for them right in Cleveland. They were the Cleveland Rams before they were the LA Rams, before they were the St. Louis Rams, before they were the LA Rams again. Can't use the LA logo here, that doesn't make sense, so we're going to give them the old St. Louis Rams logo. For only the second time, we're going to have a team move within the same state. The Cleveland Browns will now become the Cincinnati Browns. After all, Paul Brown founded that franchise too. Where now will the Bengals wind up? They're going to be going to New Orleans. You already got the LSU Tigers over there, and their mascot is a Bengal. Yes, I know LSU's in Baton Rouge, not New Orleans, but it's still Louisiana. And the Saints are once again just one of those nicknames that's perfect with the city it's already in. But since we gotta move them, we'll keep them in the South and shift them over to Atlanta. There's a bit of a Catholic connection in Atlanta. It's not huge, but it's there. Being that we're this late here, it's surprising that we got such a great fit here. The Falcons are going to move over to Arizona. It's another bird swap, but Falcons do fit the desert. And of course, Arizona has deserts. The Cardinals logo is now available, and there's one place for it to go. Right back where we started, to Houston. Yes, I could have put the Cardinals in Chicago, but I was far too gone by the time I realized it. Let's take a quick look at what the NFL's divisions would look like, and yeah, this would take some getting used to. The city names would help, but I don't know. You think 49ers, you think West. You think Patriots, you think East. Obviously, this is all meant to be in good fun and not meant to be taken seriously, but I would like to hear your thoughts on it. What would you have done differently? Where did I get it right? Where did I get it wrong? Whatever else is on your mind, you're always free to spew your thoughts down in the comments section below. Thank you for taking the time with us today. It's a little bit of a different video than we usually do. And until next time, I hope you have an awesome day.